What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Serie career mode. It is episode number 14. It is the season finale, our final two games of the Serie campaign after a great run of form. Just one loss in our last 8 games, 5 wins in 6. 2 games to go, and if we win back-to-back, we're guaranteed to finish no lower than 7th, because our first and final 2 games and our final home game is against Roma, right now 2 points and 2 places above them, and our final away day, the final game of the season against Bologna, right now in 10th. So yeah, 2 games to go, and well, we're going to dive right into it, man. Like I said, win back-to-back, and that will guarantee a top 7 finish, whilst the board only technically count top 6 as European qualification. 7th should, touch wood, give us Conference League. So let's dive into our first of the 2. It's the biggest of the 2. Beat Roma, and destiny is in our own hands heading into the final game. Forza Udinese. We need to win back-to-back to have a chance to do this, really, because again, the gap is 2 between us and both Napoli and Roma. But as Andrea Bellotti finds his man, great save by Gashi down to his right to keep it at 0-0. If the gap remains at 2 between us and Roma heading to the final game, all they've got to do on the final day is get a point. And the reason being is simple. Before it goes goal difference in the Serie A, it goes head-to-head as the first tiebreaker. And Roma, as long as they don't lose this game, are guaranteed to finish with a better head-to-head record than us. So really, it all hinges on us winning this game. We have to beat Roma. Zamora! 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 Udinese lead! 19 minutes in! Lowest rated player in the starting 11 in the outfield! Jordan Zamora runs through, and he's been big this season. He scored some big goals. He single-handedly got us a point at Como when we were 2-0 down, and he bagged a brace. And he might have scored the biggest goal of his career. The ex-Cherry puts the host in front, and as things stand, we're going 1 point above Roma. But calm yourself down, Doxy son, because your defense is shocking. João Felix with the instant leveller. AS Roma equalised practically right from kickoff. It's been the weakest area of our game this season, the defence, and it's not much of a surprise either. A teenage goalkeeper, only 70 overall, no DM in our CM trio, and a 3 at the back system that doesn't favour the gaffer. So if we're going to win and we're going to qualify for Europe, we've got to score more, including in the second, tied at 1-1. Need a winner. Yes, for next season, that is going to be my big aim in the summer transfer window. I don't know how much money we'll get, but, I mean, put it this way, we made, I think it was 5 new signings this season. For next season, I'm probably just going to spend all of whatever money I get on one player, and that is going to be a class DM, because that's what we need. Zamora! Luca! Lorenzo Luca, our top scorer, restores the lead, and the coolest of finishes as well. And 6 for 7. Ball dinked into the middle by the English-born Zimbabwean international. And what does the giant do? He doesn't nod it in. He waits for it to drop out of the sky before stroking it into the bottom corner. We've said it. The perception of big men is outdated. They're not just players that you float the ball into and watch them go and attack it. They've got good footwork as well. Most of Luca's goals come with his feet, including that one, 17th of the year. Udinese back in front. Yes, I suppose you probably could call Lorenzo Luca the Italian Peter Crouch. And if you look at Crouch's highlight reel and take a look at his best goals on YouTube, you won't see many with his head, but you'll see some fantastic acrobatic efforts. You'll see some volleys from distance. I briefly touched on it a few episodes ago. He scored this long-range volley with Stoke, and it was against Manchester City. It was a gorgeous goal. There's João Felix. Once again fires in the leveller. But for as good as we've been going forward, once again at the back, just far too fragile. A brace for João. 2-2. And again, the lead has slipped through our fingers. And possibly destiny has as well. 20 to go, and unless we can find another, it's going to be out of our hands heading into match day 38. Well, it's been a fantastic game. But unfortunately, oh no, don't lose it. 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 Great block by Prati. And that will do it. Not enough time to get it forward. And Udinese in their final game at the Blue Angel Stadium this season will play out a fun 2-2 draw, which sees our record extend to just 1 loss in 9. But like I said against the draw against Inter, whilst ordinarily at any other time in the season it'll be a good result, Xhaka's reaction alongside mine says it all. We needed to win. We'll go into the final day still with a chance, but destiny is out of our hands. And regardless of what Napoli did, we will still need to win on the final day because there's head record. And to be fair, they did draw as well, so it's crazy. But going into the final day, Juve have done us a favour. It means we still have the slimmest of chances. But again, as you drop to 9th in the table now, I mean, it's ridiculous, honestly. We're 2 points behind 3 teams, Torino, Roma and Napoli. As the top 4 is now set and the champions have already been confirmed. It's going to be a crazy race for Europe on the final day. Hellas Verona, I think, could possibly survive with a win and an Empoli loss, depending on the head-to-head record of 2 there. I can't check that, but... Who have Napoli got? I can't find Napoli on here. Where are they? Oh, they've got Sampdoria away. They should win that. Where are Roma? They've got Monza at home. They should win that. And yeah, Torino have got Palermo at home and they should win that as well. So really, it's going to take a miracle on the final day. We can't finish any lower than 9th. So my personal objective of top 10 has been hit. But in order to do it, as the rank outsiders, we need to win. And all of Roma, Napoli and Torino need to slip up. At least 2 of them. We've got a better head-to-head record than Torino, but Roma and Napoli, if they both win or they both draw, it's over. So we'll go into it with destiny firmly out of our own hands. The likelihood is we'll finish 9th or possibly 8th at the absolute best. But to get 7th, we need both Roma and Napoli to lose on the final day, so long as Torino don't lose as well, which is incredibly unlikely. Do our job, pray for a miracle, hope for the best, and let's just try and end the season strong with a victory. Like I said, fight to the end, Forza Udinese. Yes, regardless of what the board will say, I'm calling this a good season. We have hit our cup objective. We've guaranteed top 10. I mean, there isn't really a lot we've done wrong this season. And also, off the pitch, we've hit, I think, all of our objectives but 1. So, I mean, the board are definitely going to keep me on anyway. I'm not even concerned about that. As Festi, really should have opened the score in there. It's just disappointing that the board were just too eager, too overly ambitious. And you know, I keep repeating this phrase. It's one of my favourites. Know where you are. Know where you are. Look, we want to be in Europe one day, and we will be. I know that for sure. But for next season, really, board, really, know where you are, guys. As Profundi hits the post and 2 golden chances spurned early. Yeah, I think everyone should have like a North Star. I think everyone should have ambition. I think everyone should have something to aim for. I actually think it's quite dangerous when you've got nothing to aim for. But I need Luca in the box here. But Festi's onside. That's a great build-up, that, and the finish this time gets it right. 3rd time's the charm as Festi finally converts to make it 1-0. Like I said, know where you are. We're not ready for prime time yet, at least not in my opinion. As Festi opens the scoring, and finally, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Udinese have that opener. If we were given top 10 at the start of the season, I would have definitely taken it, and there is no exception now either. Disappointing to get so close and miss out, but as Lovric fires wide, how are we not like 4-0 up here, honestly? We're leading by 1, but we should be home and dry. It's not even half time yet. So I haven't had any goal updates yet as we reach the halfway stage here in Bologna. But do you know something funny I found out, by the way? When I was playing the Euros game mode, which is quite fun to play, I must admit, when I got to half time in my group games, there were scores from around the nation, scores from around Germany, scores from around the competition. So why have EA removed it from career mode? Like, what? Are you having a laugh? I couldn't believe it. Honestly, I literally could not believe it. It's the Euros game mode, and they've got goal updates. They've got scores at half time as Lorenzo Luca is denied our 2nd, and somehow Bologna is still in this. I couldn't believe it. I literally could not get over it. We've been talking about it all season long. EA have removed goal scores at half-time from around the ground as Xhaka heads just over the bar from career mode. And yet it's shown in the Euros game mode. I could not believe it. So for those that haven't played the Euros game mode this year, and you play career mode this season and might think, hang on, why have they removed the goal updates? It's not because they can't show it, it's because they've chosen not to. It's ludicrous. They're in the Euros game mode. You can have scores at half-time in the Euros game mode, but not on a final day of a league season. Oh, mix up, final day of a league season with so much at stake. How on earth is it still 1-0 here, man? Honestly, absolutely dominated the game. Missed golden chances. Bologna have gifted me chances, and I've not taken them. Xhaka also denied. This is crazy, man. Still, we're only leading by 1. All we need is a second goal, and that will confirm it. And it's game. It was coming. And of course, on the final day, leave it to the cheat code to activate. Udinese 2-0 up, and we've done our job. It might not be enough, but we've got the win on match day 38. Oh, and by the way, that was Xhaka's 10th goal this season. I said I genuinely think he might have a 10-plus goal year from corners and free kicks alone. He's done it in season 2. Unbelievable, man. The cheat code, there he is again, as the captain delivers on the final day, as do Udinese. Head up, boys. I don't think it's enough. I really don't. We need a miracle to have made it here, but the scarves are raised in the corner because what a great run to end the season. 1 loss in 10. And I'm pretty proud of the end of season running, even though it's most likely came in vain. Fair play. Fair play. That's a heck of a season 2, that, and a heck of an end of season run as well. I'm proud of this second year in Udine. So as we'll get back to the main menu once again, in order to have made it, we will need both Napoli and Roma to have lost. Napoli won. Roma drew, but because of their head record, it's not enough anyway. And Torino beat Palermo as well. So it wasn't to be. In the end, we do end up finishing in 9th place, with us and Roma separated by just the head-to-head, and both 2 points behind Torino and Napoli. So there's no European football in Udine last season, but 20 wins in 38 games, 62 goals on the board as well. Series bests, if you will, in that regard, and a series best 9th place finish. At the start of the season, I would have taken it. Missing out on European football by 2 points, and I'll take it now. So, Juve, crowned champions of the Serie A, finishing 9 clear of Milan. They, Lazio and Inter, wrap up the Champions League spots. Atalanta are heading to the Europa League, with Torino also joining the Europa League, and Napoli in the Conference League, as us and Roma miss out on the final day. But again, I'm proud of that. 62 goals. We were so much better this year in front of goals, but defensively definitely needs improvement. 57 conceded, that is much worse than last year. But 20 wins in 38 and a series high 64 points in 9th place. I'm still very proud of that, as the bottom 3 were Hellas Verona, Como and Frosinone as well. As for individual achievements, Lautaro Martinez won the Golden Boot, finishing 3 clear of Zaccagni, who I think about 18 of those 23 goals came against us, as did Marcus Thuram. He scored 4 of those 20 against us this season. A fifth of his goals came against us. That's embarrassing. But Lorenzo Luca, what a budget buy in the end from Pisa. 17 goals in 29 games. Excellent ratio for our new giant returning on a permanent deal. Like I said, it was a bit of a gamble re-signing him, but definitely proved to be worth the small fee we paid. But Buffon was also in the top 20, as was Xhaka. Centre half in the top 20 for goals with 10 in 38, justifying that nickname with cheat code. Simone also won the assist title, 13 and 32. So glad to have stolen him back after Freiburg stolen it from us in the summer. For those who didn't watch the first episode of the season, basically he just left to Freiburg with no warning on a free. Ebosele was also in the top 3 as well, and Lorenzo Luca had 9 in the top 7 too. So quite a lot of Udinese players in there. And as for the Golden Glove, in the end it was Mike with 14, and despite the clean sheet on the final day, Gashi finishes 1 behind the Golden Glove winner. But for a teenager thrown into the deep end, yes, he dropped some clangers, but what a selection. He was sublime this year. Because lest we forget, but he also had 2 assists as well. But as for the team of the tournament, he wasn't in there. That was Szczesny in the team of the tournament, not Mike, who won the Golden Glove. It's never the guy that wins the Golden Glove. And the back 4, well, Xhaka was in there, as was Festi as well, rightfully so. Festi second in assists, and also Xhaka, of course, with 10 goals this season from centre-half. Totally justified. And Prati made it in there as well. Now, that's surprising. Prati over Profundi. Really? Simone was the assist title winner, and yet it went to Prati instead. Now, that's strange, but even so, 3 Udinese players in there. Still pleased with that. Just surprised that Profundi didn't make it, but Prati did. And Sakagni was the player of the season. I guess the voters only watched the games where Lazio played against us. As for the other winners of competitions, we'll start with the Coppa Italia. We were, of course, knocked out in the last 16 by Atalanta, who they were knocked out by Lazio, who ended up winning the whole competition, beating Inter Milan by penalties to win the Coppa Italia for Season 2. And as for the Conference League, which we were desperate to go into for next season, in the end it was a Frankfurt versus Nice final, and it was the French side that ran out winners by 3-2 in a 5-goal game to win this year's Europa Conference League. And as for the Europa League, to be fair, quite a lot of Italian sides did make it through to the last 16. And in the end, one team went all the way to the final and also left with the trophy as well. The old lady beating Feyenoord in an Italy-Netherlands Europa League final as Juventus ran out winners by a 1-0 in this year's Europa League. And as for the Champions League, we'll run through the entire tournament tree, starting with the groups as we look to see if there were any shocks in there. Wow, Athletic Madrid bottom of that group there. There's a bit of a surprise. But heading through the Europa League right from the get-go with Leverkusen also knocked out in the group stages too. You'll see Real Madrid made it through to the quarters, as did Bayern, as did Man City. They all went to the semis as well alongside Liverpool. And in the end, Manchester City overcame Real Madrid by 2-1. And I think they won it last year in the save as well. So that would technically now be 3 in a row. If we're going on from what would have been the season before last in real life as well. Man City absolutely dominating right now. Or was it Real Madrid last year? I can't remember actually. But anyway, Man City, champions of the Premier League, and West Ham were in the top 4 this year alongside Arsenal and Spurs as well in this year's English top tier this season. As often the case, Paris Saint-Germain, champions of Ligue 1, finishing 9 clear of AS Monaco, who finished 2nd in this year's French top tier. As we saw last season in the save, and this year as well, Bayern Munich's dominance is not over in German football yet. Winners of the Bundesliga, pipping Leverkusen on goal difference, both finishing 8 clear of Dortmund, and Leipzig in 4th place this season. Oh, and I forgot this, as for the Serie B, Salernitana are back, and Cremonese have been promoted as well, and the playoffs will be Pisa, Parma, Lecce, Spezia, Venezia, and Brescia as well. Oh, to be fair, really good teams there, but I'm hoping it'll be Parma, man. I'd love to see Parma back in the big time in this save. As for the Eredivisie, what a year for PSV, finishing 20 clear of FC Twente and only 1 loss in 34 games. Dominant in the Dutch top tier this season. Sporting, champions of the Liga Portugal, 5 clear of Porto and 6 clear of Benfica to win Portugal's top tier this season. As we often say, you can only check the first phase of the Scottish Premiership, but Celtic 1 clear of their old firm rivals Rangers at the end of the first phase, so just got to assume they won the championship. And as for La Liga, that was Real Madrid, 4 clear of Barcelona, and Celta Vigo, wow, finishing in the top 4. I don't think I've ever seen that, alongside Athletic Madrid as well. Fair play, the lads from Galicia going to the big time for next season. That's crazy. Is Benitez still in charge there? Is it still Rafa Benitez at Celta Vigo? If it is, he's done some great work there. And as for, we'll do a couple more. We'll do the Swiss Super League. I already do the Swiss Super League, but Young Boys on top at the end of the first phase there in Switzerland. So again, just got to assume they went on to win it. The Turkish Super League, Fenerbahce champions by a single point. Mourinho finally does it for the first time in the save, as well as Galatasaray in 2nd and Besiktas in 3rd. Did anyone hear the commentary, by the way, for the save from the Turkish goalkeeper Mert? Someone translated it. It was like, "Are you spider? Are you octopus?" It was so cool. But anyway, what a save, by the way. One of the best I've seen in Euros ever. LAFC right now 2 clear in the MLS. And I often say this. This is how you know Messi is retired. In all the seasons where Messi is still playing, Inter Miami are practically always in pole position when you check the league tables. When they're not, you can bet your bottom dollar they've retired. I think Messi's now hung up the boots here. And so, as Season 2 comes to a close, I've got to say, man, I'm really happy with how we did things in Season 2. You know, we continue to improve the team, but gradually and realistically, with the signings of recently relegated Pongracic, Lorenzo Luca returning on a permanent deal, Prati in from relegated Cagliari. Scaffet also from relegated Cagliari. Of course, he'll be leaving in the summer as well. And we signed Banda too from relegated Lecce. So I'm quite happy with the team. Obviously, we do know for the new season, we are going to lose at least 2 players. Banda, who's requested a transfer. Wallace, who's already agreed to join and leave to River Plate. And also Scaffet is probably going to leave as well. But I'm happy with the team, man. Again, we're improving it, but we're not doing it too quickly. You know, we're doing it realistically. We're doing it gradually. The rebuild so far has been gradual, but it's been fun as well. Really, really fun. And I'm really, really enjoying how our young team continues to develop. For Fatos Gashi, he grew 4 ratings this year, by the way, and more on him in a moment's time when we talk about his brother. But up 4 ratings. The red arrows are indicative of the fact that he apparently was in bad form this year. But I would say the joint second most amount of clean sheets in a Serie A season and 2 assists. Let me say that again: 2 assists in 34 league games at 17. I don't think it's that bad, personally. I think it's a little critical from EA, personally. But for Zamora, this is the thing with me for growth. EA needs to look into it. How is Jordan Zamora, at 25 years old, supposedly right now in the prime of his physical career, that scored 8 goals and got 3 assists in 35 games, was brilliant on that left-hand side, didn't grow a single rating, and yet Buta, who mainly only came off the bench for us, but did start both Coppa Italia games, grew 2 and is still growing. I mean, yeah, he's 2 years younger, I get it, but how? Like, it literally, make it make sense. Do you know what I mean? Make it make sense. EA, to me, they've really got to work on the growth system. They really, really do. And especially because of the loan system too, as Fiore grew 8 ratings there, out on loan in France. As we know, Cabasello is retiring at the end of the year. Didn't play a single league minute for us, so totally fine with that. To me, EA really do need to improve the growth system, because I just think it's just not accurate, I guess. It's just not realistic. It's something I do want to work on for next season, but this man continues to grow, and justifiably so. In the prime of his career, 26 years old. I'm not sure I called him my player of the season, but he was definitely up there. Only up 1 ratings to 80 overall, but he did get a big contract extension midway through the season to turn down the interest from Juventus. Man, I might ask him another extension in the summer, because I cannot afford to lose this guy. Captain Fantastic, the cheat code, 10 goals. 10 goals from corners and free kicks. Unbelievable. What a player, man, as he continues to get better and better. Querfeld grew 3 ratings. I'm not sure I'll keep him in the summer, though. There was big interest from was it Napoli, but also Liverpool as well. We turned it down because it was deadline day, but in the summer, if one of those big clubs come in, I really like the young Austrian, up 3 ratings, 77 overall. But if a big club comes back in, I'll probably have to let him go. As Casadei has grown 5 out on loan at Fortuna Düsseldorf. Festier Bocello, though, he's got holds on his attributes now. One of the best players for assists in the season, with 11 in 38, only behind the assist title winner Profundi. And he got 5 goals as well, growing 4 to 78 overall. What a player, man. Like I said before, he's perfect for our system on that right-hand side. So, as he gave him the contract extension in the summer, he's going absolutely nowhere. Wallace, as we know, he'll join River Plate in the summer on a new deal. So we'll get a bit of money. I think it was, how much should we sell him for? Was it 4 million or something like that? I can't remember now. Well, or maybe 5. Something like that. We'll get a little bit of money anyway when the deal goes through in the summer. Prati, though, coming in from relegated Cagliari, 6 assists in 37. Nice little handy DLP for us, no doubt about that. Growing 4 ratings to 80 overall, and the stamina increasingly significantly to 86 now as well. Continues to get better and better. That was a class pickup from Cagliari, that. And again, already at 4 ratings, still getting better and better. His mark evaluation's grown by 80%. This dude really is balling out here. And again, at just 21, he's only going to get better as well. Esposito's grown 6 at Swansea. By the way, I had to promote Ricardo Romano. He's got the exciting prospect tag. So I did say for next season, I need a really good DM. I'm not against throwing him in the first team, you know. He's got great base defensive stats. He actually looks better as a CB to me, but I'm not against it. I'm not against chucking him in at CDM for next season. But the problem, as we said, is the growth. You know, players grow slower when they're in your team than if they go out on loan. Christian Carrasco is a great example of that. He's grown 8 ratings out on loan at Cosenza in the Serie B. You know, growth happens a lot quicker when you loan your players out, as Roberto is going into, I think, probably his final year of pro football for next season. Down 4 ratings now. It was so good in season 1, but barely used in this year in season 2, as Lovric stays at 77 overall, might cash in the summer. Samardzic up 2 to 78 overall. I'm waiting for someone to come in and meet that release clause though. 23 years old, still getting better, really handy midfielder with great passing ability. I'm surprised that no big club has said, you know what, we'll pay the premium. We'll pay the 35 mil, because he might not be worth that now, but he definitely will be in a couple of years' time. Even so, for now, I'm glad he's still here as one of our midfielders. Pras only grew to 1 rating this year. I was surprised that his growth tapped out. 7 assists in 34. Might not have scored a single goal all season long. Oh no, it's not tapped out. Well, I thought it was tapped out. But even so, only the 1 rating improved this year. But I really like him. 2 great young Austrians in the team. He and Querfeld both growing nicely, although his has been a little bit slower. To be fair, he is now 24, but I should still be able to get him into the low 80s. Novak grew 4 ratings out on loan at Monza, scoring 3 in 8 games in the Serie A in his half a year. Really, really decent little stint there as he'll return for the summer. But for Profundi, what a year. And I probably would say he and Lorenzo are 2 players this season. 12 goals, but also 13 assists, winning the assist title in 32 league games. And he's only 19. Up 3 to 74 overall. Still getting better. Again, slightly concerned about the low strength and the low stamina, but really, technically, this dude at 19 has just got incredible stats, man. And again, with the stats he's got there, 80 ball control, 80 curve, 77 long pass, 73 short pass. You can see how, with the 78 dribbling too, he was able to get so many assists this season. Bobbing, weaving, and at 5'5", a little lad, getting through those tackles and rolling the ball through. Yeah, great player this season. And, yeah, let's just forget about what happened with the Freiburg stint in the summer. De Lucas joining Salernitana in the summer for 2 years when the loan deal goes through. But again, this is what I wanted to get to here. Georgi Gashi, the young Albanian, grew 9 ratings out on loan at SV Darmstadt. And let's just say hypothetically had a great year in the second tier, getting Darmstadt back to the Bundesliga. A +9 rating increase for a player in the second tier of German football, whereas his brother, who was joint second in assists this year and got 2, joint second in clean sheets and got 2 assists as well, grew less than half the ratings. Make it make sense, EA. Make it make sense. And this is why, when people ask me for tips on young players, how to get them to develop quicker, I don't like to give tips because I'm not as knowledgeable as some people. Some people are just like wizards with this kind of stuff. They are scholars of youth players, and those are the people you should listen to. But if I could give one tip, look at the growth of my players out on loan, and look at the growth of one of my most important players in the first 11 this season, who, again, was joint second in clean sheets and got a couple of assists as well. That should tell you the full story. Loaning players out gives them an overall spike, and thus it is better to loan your players out. And if you want, you can recall them and just do it again, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. He'll be back in the summer, growing over double the amount of ratings that his brother did, even though he was playing at a much lower level. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And Ndukidi came in as a budget buy just to be a backup for Festi. Really only came off the bench, but even so grew 2 ratings. Mikhail's grown 10, the young Chilean, out on loan in Norway right now. Banda, as we know, came in, scored a couple of goals, dipped. He's leaving in the summer after submitting a transfer request. I'm surprised that Matthews Martins hasn't really. He's only come off the bench for us, but he's grown 2 ratings here. And we'll see what happens in the summer. Oman's growing 4 out on loan at Molineux, and he still has another year and a half there playing under Gary O'Neill as well. But for Lorenzo Luca, if Profundi wasn't my player of the season, it would be the Giant. He was my top scorer with 17 goals in 29, but also chipped in with 9 assists as well, growing 2 to 78 overall. And whilst he seems to have capped out for this season for growth, I do believe he'll restart the growth next season. Touch wood, fingers crossed. He's only 24. He's still a young lad, but up by 2 ratings, 78 overall. And the Giant, like I said, man, those 17 goals, despite being 6'7", the vast majority with his feet. It was a gamble bringing him back, and after Brennan left to Fulham, I was worried that I might have brought back the wrong guy and let go of the right man. I think it's safe to say those stats justify I made the right call in the end, as Vilvaldo, by the way, is going to leave on a free in the summer. But that will do it for the season finale, guys. So big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed the finale of Season 2 and Season 2 as a whole. And if you have enjoyed it, then please do drop a like. We might have came up short on the final day, but still a season to be proud of. Reaching the last 16 in the Cup for the first time ever, and a top 10 finish, the best we've had so far in the save. Great work to build on heading into Season 3, where I'm sure once again our budget is going to be quite small. I'll be working with a shoestring transfer budget. Have a great day though, guys. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the start of a brand new season as our third year at the Blue Energy Stadium will get underway very soon.